Imagine a single gunshot echoing through a quiet Sunday morning, shattering not just a life, but an entire family's fragile world. In that instant, a father was gone, taken by the hand of his own parent, and three young souls were left to navigate the wreckage of fame, secrets, and unspoken love. Their names tied to a voice that moved millions, yet their hearts carried wounds no song could heal. This is their story, decades later, in a world that still hums his melodies, but rarely hears their silence. Picture the oldest boy, the one who shared his father's full name, growing up in grand houses that felt more like museums than homes. He wasn't born into the bloodline everyone assumed. His real mother was a young relative, just a teenager when he came into the world. To shield the family from whispers and judgment, the truth was locked away, rewritten on paper, and buried deep. From his earliest days, he was shaped by decisions not his own, handed a legacy that came with invisible chains. He idolized the man the world adored, the one who poured passion into every note, but behind closed doors, paranoia ruled. The father, lost in his own storms of addiction and fear, pushed the boy away. Superstition whispered that a child not of his flesh might steal his creative fire. So the son sat alone, gazing out windows, forbidden from interrupting the genius at work. One day, during a tense recording session for a hit that would define an era, the boy was banished from the room. "Keep him out. I can't create with him watching." The order came. Chaos followed. Shattered glass, locked doors, a breakdown no one dared document. Years passed in that cold distance. Then, tragedy struck. The father, slain by his own dad in a fit of rage. At the funeral, an 18-year-old stood apart, face hidden behind dark glasses, grief locked inside. Soon after, he fought quietly in court for a piece of what was left, an inheritance, a sense of belonging. But old letters surfaced, cold and final. The boy was kept for the family's sake, not out of deep bond. The battle faded. He disappeared from view for nearly 2 decades. Life resurfaced in shadows, arrest for a violent outburst at home, a gun found, questions swirling. To the officers he uttered words that chilled the air. "I'm nobody now." No more statements, no court dates kept. He became a ghost, no traces online, no connections to the past. A rare note to family revealed the ache. All he craved was one genuine embrace from the man who gave him a name, but not his heart. That embrace never came. His path ends not in glory, but in quiet retreat. A man yearning for the ordinary amid extraordinary pain. If this tale of hidden hurt stirs something in you, pause for a moment and pass it on to someone who needs to hear it. Sharing keeps these voices alive. Now turn to the girl who lost her world at just 10. She was the princess in his eyes, the light he both cherished and feared. That fateful morning, the cracks of gunfire weren't on a screen. They pierced her reality, blocks away. Hiding behind curtains in her nightclothes, she heard the end of her childhood. Reports noted her distress, shielding her from the frenzy outside. But the damage was done. A chain of sorrow ignited, passing down like an unwelcome heirloom. As a teen, she unearthed the trunk of secrets, letters in her father's hand, raw and unfinished. One line haunted her. She was his brightest spark, yet one that terrified him, lest it consume her in his glow. She guarded those words close, refusing to unearth more of his unreleased treasures. "Some things aren't meant for the world," she'd say. Stepping into music herself, her first album echoed his style, but pressure mounted. Whispers claimed she was channeling a spirit not her own. On stage in his iconic outfit, she crumbled. "This isn't me, it's his shadow." The weight broke her. She withdrew, seeking help in hidden places, battling fractures in her mind, voices, lost memories, a figure in white murmuring eerie promises of return. Was it illusion or something more sinister lurking? Mystery lingered unsolved, yet she rose again, fierce on screen in a blockbuster saga, wielding power as a warrior. In private scribbles, she confessed, playing the role let her fire back at the past. If Dad saw me like this, he'd chuckle. But without it, I'd fade. Cycles of absence followed, tributes only, then rumors of vows and seclusion. A rare post broke years of quiet, silence as her shield against screams. An old track surfaced, his voice pleading forgiveness to a daughter of Hush. In a fleeting radio chat, tears fell as she mused on the name she bore. I didn't pick it, but I've learned to endure. Suspense builds. What of the youngest, the boy who was only 8 when the shots rang out? He chose paths far from lights and lenses, raised and calm by their mother. No spotlight pursuits, just a steady life honoring roots without fanfare. Kind, unassuming, he emerged when it counted, uniting with siblings to defend their father's work in a high-profile legal clash over borrowed rhythms. Their words rang true. His music guides us, a compass through grief. We cherish it as children and admirers alike. Whisper swirl of others, shadows in the legacy. A funk performer whose moves mirrored the icon, once hinting mid-show, I sing as he did, my father. Coincidences and timelines, fleeting romances, vanished figures. Medical files, quiet payments, untold births in distant cities. A clause in old agreements silenced the unrecognized, barring them from the official tale. No stages, no rights, erased from the narrative. These hidden lives pose the deepest hurt, wondering if a glance or thought ever crossed his mind. Growing up with that void echoes eternally. Am I seen? Am I enough? Yet, in acknowledging them, even softly, healing flickers. Forgiveness flows both ways. The man himself? His genius born in turmoil. A strict preacher father belittled him. You'll amount to nothing. Beatings, scorn shadowed his rise. Hits soared, but jealousy festered. The son outshining the elder, drawing crowds, living freely. Duets ended in loss. Drugs in escape, debts in ruin. Returning home broken, an argument exploded. He struck first. The revolver answered twice. One bullet fatal, the second merciless. Rare crimes these, adult patricides, rage-fueled, often with gun. The shooter claimed fear, showed no regret. Got it out of the way, he shrugged. Lighter sentence for health, a tumor removed. He outlived his son, drowning in drink until the end. The mother fled the tomb of a house, separated forever. Brilliance intertwined with broken bonds. His children bear the echo, some in seclusion, others guarding the flame with quiet strength. Do we recall them through the darkness, or the resilience in preserving what he built? This journey through loss and legacy lingers because it mirrors our own unspoken pains. If it moved you, hit like, subscribe for more raw truths, and share widely. Let these stories resonate further. Together, we honor the silenced voices.